Bulletcast for life.
Get up! This is a revolution! This is our time to rise! Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes! We are the elite, and you are the weak! No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet! Red alert, this is gonna hurt! When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek! We are the elite, and you are the weak! And I will always get back up on my feet. Why are they alive? When you are the weak. When your face is in the dirt, you'll know you're dead.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone Messiah, Phillip Brandon, joined by the Canadian Destroyer, BT Brandon Tanguma. We have been here for 500, or not 500, well, almost 500 weeks. 490 consecutive weeks, man. Come on. Nobody else besides Sam Roberts is doing numbers like these. 10 weeks away from the big 500th episode. BT, Brandon Tanguma, how you feeling?
Feeling great, Philip. We're here. We're back. Big wrestling week. You know, I think we've been hitting a little low point, which is always the case kind of around summertime. But we got pretty much every big company in America has a show this week. We got AEW, we got WWE, we got TNA, we got NXT. Everyone's doing a show this
New
week.
Japan and CMLL, technically, given the partnership.
Stardom.
Yeah, there's a lot of big stuff going on this weekend, man. A lot of wrestling to watch, a lot of forms of entertainment. Pick responsibly. Yeah, man. So let's get into it. Congratulations to Lash Legend and Trick Williams. They've officially gotten married. You've seen the videos, you've seen the photos. Wendy Chu and Big Obafemi smoking big cigars. Hello. Yeah, shout out to the happy couple, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, shout out Lash and Trick. I haven't seen too much in terms of like photos. I did see Trick walking down the aisle. He, oozed aura like he always does. But shout out them. We also have another wrestling wedding. JWoww married AEW jobber Zach Clayton on Wednesday. So there you go.
JWoww, former TNA star.
There you go. Her friend
Wow.
Snooki, undefeated at WrestleMania.
Yes. Look at this. I mean, they were both on at one point in time the hottest reality television show on the planet. And then, Snooki went on to be undefeated at WrestleMania. And JWoww, she went on to have a quick little stint in TNA. She did 3 episodes?
Something like that. I did read up on this because, I'm a big Jersey Shore guy. Haven't seen the last season that they're doing, but apparently there was some.
They did another one?
They're basically doing like the adult version where they just are parents now. They like go on like vacations together. I haven't seen the last season, but I have to get around on that.
They're basically doing grown-ups now?
Basically, yeah. It's like once every like 2-3 weeks they'll like do some sort of vacation at like, Florida or the Northeast or somewhere.
Or something.
Something like that. But there was some scuttlebutt that Ronnie and Angelina were not invited to JWoww's wedding.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Wow. Man, you gotta. I mean, yeah, I was never into that, man. We grew up in the prime real estate of reality television. I mean, I was a young kid with my mom or my cousin watching Bad Girls Club and Flavor of Love, which I should not have been watching any of that stuff. Yeah, man. Hopefully everybody's doing all right, man. NWA Power is going to be coming to Tubi. Tubi is the destination for wrestling now. You have Evolve, whatever other content is on Tubi that has sports entertainment. Good stuff.
Yeah, I don't really watch Tubi. I mean, I think I know I have it because I think it's just like on my Amazon stick because it's just like
Free,
something
bro.
something you get for free. And I mean, at this day and age where a lot of people don't have like traditional cable, I think Tubi and like other forms of TV like that are just kind of like quick, easy
Pluto
ways to
TV.
just watch stuff. And yeah, like people they'll throw something on. If they don't know what they're doing, you just throw Tubi on and maybe some people will catch Power. Unfortunately, NWA has kind of fallen off ever since far cry from the 80s, but they had their little moment there like 10 years ago, but
Yeah, I mean with the Tim Storm, the revival, and then when they started doing the NWA Power on YouTube, I mean that like first like six months to a year was hot, bro. Like I mean, Ricky like stars like Ricky Saints were over there, Zicky Dice, Thunder
Eli Drake,
Rosa.
yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Um, yeah, man, a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of really good stuff was there. Tubi's become the destination for wrestling. I love it, man. I love it. I found out that Tubi pays more than Netflix in some cases.
I mean, because you gotta like pay outright probably
Yeah, no,
to
it
like
was
earn the rights to everything.
yeah, it was like, like with Netflix, like the payout takes longer and things like that. And like you may have to wait a couple years on the on turnaround on the investment, whereas Tubi is kind of more like automatic. Like you'll see that money in a matter of like a couple months than a couple years.
I mean, shout out to Tubi. Obviously, they're doing something right because they've been around for quite a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, I mean, what's up, man? Bullet Cast on Tubi. I know, like like the Breakfast Club is on Netflix and stuff now, but hey, man,
I mean, we have 490 episodes, so we have enough content to suffice.
yeah, shit. Plus all the bonus podcasts and all the interviews and stuff. Yeah, which speaking of interviews, Stockton Con's coming up. Maybe we need to go make an appearance. What to see? Triple H says people take WWE too seriously. I guess he did a interview with your boy Stephen A. Smith.
Oh yeah, my boy Stephen A. Smith, and I mean, this is kind of something that we've heard bookers and kind of even a bunch of people in the wrestling business kind of say before. And I understand where they're coming from because at the end of the day, wrestling is a form of entertainment, but then I also feel it's another way of people kind of passing the buck and just be like, oh yeah, my bad booking, my bad decisions shouldn't be taken, you know, up to scrutiny just because it's wrestling. It's just have fun, guys. Which, I mean, I remember we had this conversation with a former co-host. I forget which one because we had so many at this point, but they were like, oh yeah, it's just wrestling, have fun. But I'm like, that's the point. If you just say it's wrestling, you let a lot of stuff go by unchecked, and I think that's something that currently Triple H is not everyone's favorite person right now because WWE product is low cold.
Yeah, man, I think. Well, like so. Check out the Paul Heyman interview from CVV. It's 2 hours, but he just talked about Triple H at there at some point in time, and I think like Hunter's hands are kind of tied. He has the shareholders, the investors, obviously TKO and Endeavor, and the higher ups from that. Like, hey, these guys draw money. We want them at the top of the card, which because I like you saw like in the early stages of Hunter taking over the main roster creative, different people were getting different opportunities to do different things. And then as time has gone on and WWE sold to Endeavor and TKO and all that other stuff, you see kind of the shift in how it will be the same guys in the main event in the upper echelons. I know you have your set main eventers like Roman, Punk, Cody, and Seth, obviously, and then like your upper low or up lower main event guys like Gunther and Jay and stuff like that. Like it's kind of a set stone, but we'll see how the tide turns, man. We just got to give it some time. Unfortunately, Joe Doring has passed away at the age of 44. He was in hospice care for quite some time, and then the news broke this morning that he unfortunately passed away. Former All Japan Pro Triple Crown champion.
Yeah, real sad story. I mean, only 44. This is not the first time that he had cancer. He had cancer back in 2016, where his career was kind of cut short. He was able to come back, but unfortunately, the cancer returned, and it took him, unfortunately. So yeah, just a real sad situation all the way around. Seemed like he was a good dude, good wrestler. But yeah, uh, just T's and P's.
Yeah, man. T's and P's of his friends and family and his fans. SmackDown. Cody Rhodes retains the WWE Championship again. Little kerfuffle there with Sami Zayn as a special guest referee. Fast count on Sami's part. Then they go out there to do it again, and Sami inevitably kicks Gunther. Cody walks out with the championship, and then we're getting a triple threat at Night of Champions. Cody Rhodes defends the undisputed WWE title against Gunther and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I mean, with Sammy being the referee, your kind of BS alert should have been on full blast, and it was here with two
I
different
expected
finishes.
I expected a clean fight, brother.
Well, unfortunately, Sami Zayn wasn't. His emotions got the better of him, and he wasn't able to. And that's why you got to show some respect to the referees out there because they deal with a lot of BS, and most of the time, except for Crooked Car, is able to put some things aside. Which, by the way, we're just not gonna do that anymore. I mean, I know Becky's not on TV, but we're just gonna put that to the side, and then we're gonna have like Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch at like SummerSlam probably. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think that should be one of the matches.
Main event night one.
I mean, Semi Man, bro, it's a big story. It's one of the longest stories going on in the company.
But they've done an okay thing. It's Cody, Gunther, Sammy. I still wonder or don't suspect either one of those guys to beat him. But hey, you never know. We'll get to the predictions. It is in Saudi Arabia. A certain person is very over in Saudi Arabia. Who knows? Who knows? It is probably going to be the main event since both the King of the Queen of the Ring matches are going to be on the first hour.
Wow, oh, we love to see it. Speaking of King and Queen of the Ring, Jey Uso qualifies for the finals of the King of the Ring. He defeated Javon Evans on SmackDown, and backstage, he sees Cody Rhodes, and Cody says, "Hey man, I'm easy to find." Then he walks away. Then Sami Zayn pops up, and says, "Hey Uso, how you been?" And then tells him like, "Hey man, you may not be facing Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. You may be facing me. Tell the family I said hi." What are your thoughts on a little backstage with Jay and Cody, and then Jay and Sammy?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. With the King of the Ring winner ended up being a main event of SummerSlam. Unfortunately, kind of took Javon out of the picture. I thought. I mean, if this was like a traditional one where it was kind of like an up and coming type tournament, he would have been the perfect guy to kind of give him that push and give him that win to give him some momentum going into the summer. But I mean, it felt like Jay was going to win, and it does give a little bit of.
All right, bro. Money in the Bank is Javon Evans' game.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a baby face right now. I mean, there was like a little bit of immaturity a couple weeks ago that thought maybe it was going to turn, but they kind of quelled that and didn't go down that route, which I think is a good choice. But yeah, Jay and Oba, I think either one of them could win. With the whole Brock situation lingering, and the backstage segments with everyone involved, continuing with the bloodline stuff, which I know some people might not be the biggest fans of, but I I don't like hate it. I think they are different enough to where it's good for me.
Bro, so what if this bloodline incarnation is only blood? The Tongans are, family by choice, like given, the similarities with Tonga and Samoa, they're not actually blood.
Possible spoiler for SmackDown is maybe they're not together anymore.
What you call it? When Roman mentioned the bloodline, he mentioned, Rikishi, Umaga, Yoko, didn't mention The Rock because that branch of the bloodline is by a blood oath. What if this bloodline is strictly just family? There's no wise man, there's no honorary oos, it's all blood relatives.
I mean, that would make sense because it is the bloodline, and it should probably be by blood. But I mean, clearly they're running it back, so you need to have some sort of differentiating aspect to it. And I mean, Roman, I still wonder what their plan is with him because he's like kind of reverting back to his OG, tribal chief character, but he's like a babyface still. And like, what are we supposed to? I'm not saying like, oh, he's to be a babyface or a heel. I'm just like, I don't know what they're exactly going for. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Just because Roman is kind of on a little mini hiatus right now, so we'll see where he stands.
We shall
Probably
see.
next week or the week after.
Liv Morgan defeats Charlotte Flair to become one of the members of the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Made Charlotte Flair tap out. I can't remember the last time I saw Charlotte Flair tap out.
I don't know. I was trying to think. I mean, I don't think Ronda Rousey beat her. So, anyways, I mean, interesting that they picked Liv, who's a champion, to go up against Io. When they had something cooking there with Charlotte possibly going up against Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley, her knee injury, that's a question mark of the future of that championship. So, um, Liv is just always kind of there for better or for worse. She's just like always kind of in that mix on the women's side of she can be, in the tag division, she could be in the main event scene, she can be championships, king of the ring, queen of the ring, whatever. So, not a big shocker that she made it all the way there, even though the idea of the champion being in is kind of dumb.
Hey, bro, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I mean, the WWE champion was in the Royal Rumble once, and he almost won. Yeah, yeah. The MFTs lose the tag title match because of Solo Sikoa. Damn it.
Damn shame. The MFTs, like I said, possibly maybe breaking up. Maybe like what Philip said, they're gonna go straight to blood. You know, no Tongans, just straight Samoans. Um, but you know, the MFTs. Not saying once Tonga Loa left, everything went downhill. But the going from like a bigger faction to then just having like the three of them, I felt like lost a little bit of their luster, and they just kind of feel like a shadow of their former selves, even though they weren't like that
I
strong to begin with.
yeah, I do. I do feel like at least like what you call it, they kind of been playing that like, hey man, like things have changed since our people aren't here no more. I I mean, nobody should. I don't want anybody to lose their job. And man, if you would keep Gorillas of Destiny, keep Gorillas of Destiny, because bro, you could have done Solo and the Usos versus Talatonga and God, and then obviously we could have finally got Usos and God, and that would have fed families.
I mean, I thought the Jeff competition was always a little strange,
Well,
but
it was Solo's family tree. These are the people he picked to and
just
Solo's
because you're not blood doesn't mean you ain't family.
hello. Just because you are blood doesn't mean you aren't. Well, what's the saying? Just because you are blood doesn't mean you are family. Just because you aren't blood doesn't mean you aren't family. There you go.
There we go. Nailed
There
it.
you go. There you go. I see on Twitter 9 years ago today the Ball family appeared on Raw. Do you remember that, bro?
I do remember that because Shadow LaMelo he got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. So yeah, I mean LeVar, he's a character. Unfortunately, lost one of his legs, but Shadow LeVar, uh,
Oh my god, I'm watching this clip, bro. I blocked this out of my
it
memory.
was like one of those so bad it was pretty funny
Like the
type
way he
things.
ran down to the ring and like almost started doing a snow angel in there. This is like,
He took his shirt off and bowed up to the Miz.
yeah, bro. Like Mellow Ball, he had a little rap career real quick,
I must swerve in that corner. Whoa.
and then he had that other one. He had two songs. He had two songs. But Swerve in that corner, whoa, that was the one. I was fancying
It's
this.
like baby, shake that ass for me.
Yes,
See,
yes,
I'm in the
yes.
streets, I know.
Come on now with your Coors Light. Did you
Yes,
drink
sir.
them all?
No.
How many do you have left?
I have a whole box left because your boy went to the boat last week and I bought some, but they already had some. So then it was a well investment. I left with more
Bro,
beer.
Coors Light. I saw, Big Oo's journey. He's wrestling over in New York right now. He wrestled Bear Bronson. Coors Light after the match, brother.
That's the only way to go. It's Coors Light if it's a redneck party, Modelo if it's a Mexican party.
How do you feel about the Coors banquets? How do you feel about those?
I love the yellow belly,
Okay, okay, okay. I see. Your
but
birthday's
yeah, when I be drinking a lot, that's I don't need the extra calories.
your birthday's coming up, man. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for you. You and,
Ah,
you and Mandy Rose, man. We got to get you guys some presents.
big and Al Snow and Vin Diesel.
Al Snow. Hey, what does Al Snow want? What does he need?
Hey,
You know.
hello,
You
hello.
know. You know what he needs. You know what he needs. Jesus Christ. All right. Moving on from that, we are going to get into Monday Night Raw. Oba Femi is out there talking about. So hold on. Royal Rumble, you choose what champion you're going to face. King of the Ring, I thought it was just whatever brand you're on, you go and face that champion. Is Oba Femi not signed to a brand? Is he still a free agent?
I think that's also the other thing of Jay is probably gonna win, maybe, and he's gonna face Cody most likely. And so since he's not on that brand, it would make sense for them to be open to either which one.
Yeah, I mean, I understand like Jay going to face Cody because Roman he has the pull. They got the pull to where they can just go make that happen. Oba, is he not signed to a specific brand?
I mean, he's only been on Raw, but I mean, technically, I think like Brock Lesnar's not signed to a specific brand, even though he's only been on Raw for the most part. So
Yeah.
the whole brand split thing, it's like it's a very soft brand split.
Bring back the draft?
We haven't had one like what, like 3 years, I feel like.
Yeah, man. I got a draft going on my universe mode on the game right now. I gotta be strategic with these things. You know? You know?
I don't know.
All right.
Shout out the NBA draft just happened this week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
No idea
yeah.
what happened because I don't really follow college or the draft like that.
Bro, come on, bro. You're not a big college ball boy?
I like watching it. I'm not gonna remember the
Who's your favorite
players.
college ball team? Is it Duke?
No, I don't really have like a favorite college. I'm a big, I wouldn't say big, but USC is my football team because of Reggie Bush. Shout out Reggie Bush. Shout out
Shout
Bush
out,
in the tush. Kim
shout out.
Kardashian,
Yeah,
respectfully.
bro. Have you seen his new wife? Looks kind of exactly like Kim Kardashian. It's crazy.
Well, it's kind of like Kanye is with like a Kim Kardashian clone.
Is he really? I haven't paid attention to Kanye in a couple of years, unfortunately.
Yeah, he said some things.
Yeah, yeah. But Obafemi's out there. Jey Uso comes out there. Then no, Jay's like, man, they doubted me when I won the Royal Rumble. They doubted me when I was world champion. They doubted me getting this far in the King of the Ring tournament. I'm going to fire off on you, Oos, and one. And then Oba says, if you fire, you best not miss. Basically, if you come at the future king, you best not miss. And Oba tells Jay, you're not the family member I'm worried about. And now listen, we all know Brock Lesnar loves a Saudi payday. What is this blood money in the sand, like 15? Something like that.
I've lost count at this point.
We kept count for a while. I think we got up to like 10 or 11. You'd have to go back in the archives. But yeah, man. Uh we'll talk about that once we get there. But thoughts on Oba and Jay's promo?
I thought it was solid, building up the tension between them. Also, they clearly are hinting at an Oba Roman Reigns match, and that's something the crowd was hot for and ready for. Now,
Still
I
think
don't
it's too
know if
soon.
they're if this could be a trial run. It'd be like maybe they just go with it. Now, I don't think they will. I think they're going to hold off on that. That's probably something you maybe wait till WrestleMania, or Royal Rumble, something like that. So, but they definitely were testing the waters. Oh, Philip, you said 15. You were right.
Yeah.
This is the 15th Blood Money show.
All right. Blood Money in the Sand 15. Blood Money in the Sand 15.
I don't know how to say 15 in Arabic, but
Yeah, that's why I hit that. Yeah, so that's interesting. The Street Profits, they bring the swag like nobody can. They also win tag titles like nobody can. Congrats to them, man. They have now held the WWE World, the WWE, the Raw, the SmackDown, the NXT, and the Evolve Tag Team Championships.
yeah, match was fine. Unfortunately, it kind of felt as though they were just kind of getting the titles. It was more about getting the titles off of the Vision than really getting them on the
So
Street
I
Profits.
was listening to Before the Bell. Shout out to everybody over there, CT and them. Is the Vision done, bro? Like, is this over? Heyman's off TV. Like Logan's on TV, but he can't physically do anything. Joe Hendry made a surprise appearance. Braun Breaker or not Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. There, damn his name. Too many Brons in this company.
Maybe
Uh,
Vince had the right idea with that.
yeah, yeah. Bronson Reed. God knows when he's coming back. Like, is this thing done, bro?
They're definitely like at a low point right
But then,
now.
like, what? Yeah, man, I don't know.
I mean, I think of like if you can get Bronson Reed back, which I mean that was a torn tricep, but it hasn't been that long, so he's probably going to be gone for still a few more months.
Yeah, we if unless he's recovering like Big Match John, we don't know. But yeah, man, just there was some sauce there, and then like you kind of just went to hell, and then like what happened to Braun Breaker main eventing WrestleMania for the night? It feels like we're so far away from that now. Like when the thing with Punk and that promo he cut, like okay, what if they do it? What if they do put the title on him? Then I feel like we're so far away from that now. Obviously, things can change and the tide can turn. He can go win Money in the Bank or something like that, or like if they do a number one contendership for like one of the other titles, he can win that. But it's just like we feel so far away from that. Like he just needs to the set thing needs to end. And we need to be done with it. I know they didn't get to what they wanted, but like, yeah.
Yeah, Braun Breaker is kind of like one of those prospects that, we got called up to the majors, did okay, didn't like maybe, live up to the
So,
ungodly hype,
so
but
wait,
then there was another prospect came up and just blew him out the water, and that's Obafemi right now.
here's the thing. Remember, like Braun Breaker spent like an extra year and a half in NXT to really get the seasoning. What if he had come up right after he lost the NXT title? How different do you think things would have been?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I remember like some
Because those,
speculation that possibly he could have been the one to go after Roman Reigns in that original title run. Obviously, Cody, I think, was the right choice, but I don't know. I mean, I do think that Braun, that extra year in NXT, did give him like a little bit more personality because he was a little bit more of like just a kind of straight, almost kind of like what he is right now. Like, I think as a heel, he's more kind of Gurr, but then like as a babyface, he could be a little more like fun-loving Steiner, which maybe, could be like a Kurt Angle thing of maybe you don't want him to do comedy because if he can do comedy, you don't take him as seriously. But
I
um,
mean, Kurt Angle did comedy, then we took the wrestling machine. You know what I'm saying? But that's Kurt Angle. That's different. Congratulations to the Street Profits. LA Knight beats Jimmy Uso. Solo Sikoa makes an appearance and thumbs his brother in the neck.
yeah, so I mean, it doesn't look like Solo is going to join up with the Bloodline anytime soon.
I mean, the Bloodline was always a slow build, man. Like they'll do something today and it'll be paid off in a couple months.
But LA Knight just beating Jimmy Uso.
Getting a win on TV, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. He kind of, I don't want to say languishing right now just because he's not in the King of the Ring match. So I don't know what you do with LA Knight because he is kind of like feuding with the Bloodline, but he's not really. He's feuding with the Usos. He's not feuding with Roman Reigns right now.
Well, I mean, I really like. I know with the Obafemi thing and all, but like, LA Knight and Roman Reigns, that would have been a fine SummerSlam match.
I'm trying to think. We don't have. Is there a July show? They can just kind of get
There's a
that out the
Saturday
way.
night's main event somewhere in
Oh well,
July.
yeah,
I
on
think
my
it's been
birthday.
booked. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we'll see about that. Lyra Valkyria attacks Bailey after Paige and Brie Bella retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Lyra loses it, almost decapitates Bailey, and then hits her with a Nightwing to end it all. Saw Kenny Dykstra come break it up. Shout out to Kenny Dykstra.
Shout out the boy. I mean, they really telegraphed this early with the beginning of saying like, "Oh yeah, Lyra looks different. She seems to have her game." I don't know what exactly the terms they were using, but they definitely were telegraphing this heel turn, even though they weren't like doing. I mean, I feel like they were going back and forth on both sides for like a long time. They're almost like the Judgment Day. They're like always on the verge of breaking up, and then finally, Lyra attacks Bailey, and I mean, I guess. I mean, the crowd was not hot for this, which it was unfortunately for a. Well, they were in London, right? It was not like a hot crowd in London, which is something you're kind of typically expecting for those UK shows. But eh, I mean, I think Lyra, I don't know. I mean, I think Lyra's super talented, and I think she found her stride a little bit in this tag team as a babyface. So now going back to a heel, I think she's just gonna kind of languish a little bit,
Was Lyra
unfortunately.
a heel? She wasn't a heel before.
Uh,
No, like she wasn't a heel before. Like they were going with like Bailey and the mental disorder and crashing out, which we never really capitalized on that. Uh but yeah, no, I mean it's something different for Lyra because she feuded with Becky all that time, lost, and then
so now
kind of
she's just gonna be like an angry bird. I mean, if Vince was there, they probably would have coined her that. Even though I know Angry Bird ain't what it used to be, but they probably would still charge a hefty margin for that trademark.
Angry Birds, Bearcats, Flappy Bird, Fruit Ninja. I'm surprised Akira Tozawa wasn't a Fruit Ninja. Jesus. Remember he had the ninja bit during the 24/7 title run?
Yeah, Omos was a ninja.
All right,
Whoa, not like that.
Maxine Dupree shuts down Chad Gable's apology. Otis was about to shake his hand, and then Maxine was like, "No, I remember everything you did to us, and when I won, when I accomplished what you couldn't, uh, just a whole bunch of BS." So Maxine has them all walk out. Has Maxine officially joined Austin Theory yet?
No, but I think that's probably what this is leading down to.
Is that
Of
is that what
Chad
Austin Theory's
Gable.
about to go do? A little quick mini thing with Chad Gable? Because Chad Gable said he also talked to Penta. I need that at SummerSlam, bro.
Yeah, I think they've been doing a really good job with the Chad Gable stuff. I mean, it's very like white meat, babyface. Like, I am sorry for what I did in the past. Please accept my apology. I'm going to try to do. I'm trying to be a good person. Like the outright explanation is something I don't think we see too much in wrestling. And so I've got a kick out of it, and I think it will lead to Otis and Tozawa accepting his apology, but then Maxine still refusing, and then ends up joining with Awesome Theory.
Okay. Let's see. We shall
Or
see.
maybe it's like Otis is like holding out, and then Otis accepts it, and then Maxine like turns on Otis.
Kicks him in the yam bam. Thank you, ma'ams.
Yep, and then makes out with Austin Theory on top of Otis's dead body.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. The Night of Champions preview. So first up, we are reigniting a old rivalry. Tiffany Stratton, the WWE United States Women's Champion, challenges Jade Cargill. Um, or Jade Cargill challenges her. I think Jade Cargill wins. Give her, something to kind of elevate the U.S. title a little bit.
Yeah, kind of an odd matchup in terms of like kind of where they stand. I mean, Tiffany, I don't think is doing too hot right now. I think she's kind of floundering.
It's Tiffany
Uh,
time.
Spoiler alert, there may be a certain other blonde that debuts and it goes after Tiffany Stratton, so maybe that plays into this. And Jade gets the title, and then Tiffany can go off and feud with one Blake Monroe. So I will go with Jade Cargill.
Possibly. Bra Breaker, Seth Rollins, steel cage match.
I mean, it's a steel cage match. They like, you would theoretically want the babyface to kind of win in the end, but Braun has been taking so many losses. I think you need to have Braun win this match. And it's a steel cage. Unfortunately, WWE has kind of bastardized the cage of it's going to be interference, there's going to be shenanigans galore. But I think at the end of the day, I think Braun should win this match. If this is the blow off, which I know steel cage isn't really a blow off match anymore, but they've run it back so many times, I feel like this has to be the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Braun Breaker for the win as well. All right, whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Trick Williams defends his United States Championship against his new number one contender, Ricky Saints. I got them having a decent little match, but Trick Williams retains and we keep it going.
Yeah, I agree. They haven't, this feud isn't like peaked or anything to where you can see Ricky taking the title off of Trick, and so I'll stick it with stick. I got this. Stick with Trick.
The stick talk, the stick talk. The stick talk, the stick talk. Yeah. Let's get into it. For the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament, the WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan challenges the Genius of the Sky. Io Sky winner becomes Queen of the Ring and gets a World Championship match at SummerSlam. I got Io Sky.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Io as well. I'm just kind of thinking like what they would do, because like if it's Io, she wins. Does that mean she just goes right back and challenges Liv? But that's also assuming Liv still holds a championship until then, which I mean Stephanie Fakir, they apparently want to go back to that, but Stephanie's been out with injury, so maybe Stephanie takes it off for her. They do a EO Stephanie match, but that's face face. It'd be really good, but I don't know if that's the way they want to go. And then, as I said earlier, who knows what's going on with Rhea Ripley right now?
Who know? It's her knee injury, right?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, like timeline wise.
Oh yeah. Who knows when she's gonna be back up and prospering? Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. All right. Moving on from that one, let's get into the King of the Ring final. Main event Jey Uso goes up against the ruler Obafemi. I got King Yeet, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not obvious,
Or
but
or do we do Oba wins night one, he gets rid of the beast, and then night two, he goes after the championship.
I mean, you could do that. I mean, you could do a thing of like Brock goes after Oba, but then Oba still is able to like overcome and win, which would be kind of a lot. But like it took what like seven F5s for Oba to be knocked down, so I don't know what they do to tell that story. But I think it's just as simple as because you don't want to blow two big matches on one show because I think Oba and Brock is a big enough match for SummerSlam, and obviously Oba Femi and Roman Reigns is one of the bigger matches they can put on now at this point. And I think you want to save that, so I think Jay just gets the win with some Brock interference.
All right, all right. Yep, main event Jey Uso. All right, now it is for the undisputed WWE Championship. The undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, defends against the Ring General Gunther and the last real good guy, Sami Zayn.
I mean, this is one of those matches where if this was anywhere else, I would be like, oh yeah, come on, Cody's winning. But then it's like Cody's had the title for so long at this point. Am I like trying to talk myself into something happening to where Sammy wins? I mean, I've already predicted one title switch with Jade Cargill, so I mean, I think one title switch is enough on a show, but it is Saudi Arabia. People have said like, oh, maybe Samuel like win the Royal Rumble and win the title at WrestleMania next year, but they're already in Saudi this year, so might as well pull the trigger. They've Nope, I'm trying to talk myself into it, but I'm not going to do it. Cody's just gonna win, and we're gonna move on like nothing ever happened.
All right. No. Because in Crown Jewel, that's also a thing.
Little Summer of Sammy action.
I mean, all right, because we know WrestleMania is in Riyadh. Do they just spoil that pop and they do it here, or just? Because I mean, if Gunther wins, we do Jay and Gunther again.
But then that is also the other thing of like Jay. I'm picking Jay to win, in theory, for it to be Jay and Cody, because then that one made the bloodline history between all that stuff. So the more I've in a bubble, you're like, oh yeah, Sammy could win because they're at Saudi Arabia. But then when you look outside, it's like, oh yeah, if Jay is gonna win, I think if Oba wins, then there's a possibility Sami Zayn wins. But if Jay wins, I
Or if
think that kind
Oba,
of cements Cody wins. But Cody can always just win it back later and get the title for SummerSlam.
yeah, that's true. I'm gonna go Cody Rhodes then. All right, I'm gonna go with the American Nightmare. Now, Forbidden Doors this weekend, right?
It is right in our backyard at the SAP Center in San Jose. Didn't do a Dynamite recap just because a lot of the stuff was just kind of plugging the Forbidden Door show. We have thus far 11 matches in total. Two of them are on the pre-show. I mean, love the pre-show, but don't need to talk about that. Tag team title match: Cope and Cage defended against the Dogs. They've done a pretty good job at building this one up. It's been a fun ride. I mean, I think Cope and Cage just kind of win that one pretty, not decisively, but pretty emphatically. Maybe Gabe Kidd comes out and costs them, but I doubt that right now. But I think David Finlay and Clark Connors have emerged as a pretty solid tag team. Then we have kind of a theme of the night for these Forbidden Door shows. John Moxley taking on Bandito for the Continental Championship. Should be a fun match. I fully expect John Moxley to get the win there. Then sticking with the Death Riders, Pac taking on Shota Umino for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Maybe Pac gets the win just because, they want a title change. They want something to happen, and maybe Pac goes over to New Japan and wrestles a little bit, but uh I would suspect Shota Umino to get the win here, but I mean, those matches, those back-to-back matches should be absolutely fantastic. We had a three-way tag team match. We had the Young Bucks taking on Mystico, Mascara Dorada, and Shingo Takagi and Teton. So that should also be a really fun, kind of all over the place, like exhibition style match. Um, I would say the Young Bucks win because they are kind of building Young Bucks, Coping Cage, and probably FTR at Wembley. They did do an angle where the dogs and Coping Cage interrupted a Young Bucks promo. So, kind of just teasing them a little bit, that they're interacting. We get the AEW Women's Title match. Tekla taking on Starlight Kid. Should be a good match. The crowd is probably gonna be more into Tekla than Starlight Kid because I don't think the American audience is gonna know too much about her, even though she is very talented, one of the top people in Stardom. But Tekla's who they know, and even though she's the heel going after Stardom, I don't think the San Jose audience is gonna care too much about that. Kenny Omega taking on Zack Sabre Jr. This one should be phenomenal. I would suspect Kenny just gets the win unless Zack Sabre Jr. just kind of ties him up in a pretzel and pins him that way. But there's still kind of not rumblings or rumors, but just speculation that maybe it could be Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay at Wembley. So if you want to keep down that road, I probably would assume Kenny Omega will get the win there. We have the steel cage match, and if Mark Briscoe's team gets the win, then he gets to challenge MJF for the title later on down the line. So Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Konosuke Takeshita, and Darby Allin taking on MJF, Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, Jake Doyle, Kazuchika Okada, and Andrade. I mean, it's going to be a clusterfuck. I would assume Briscoe will get the win. Maybe even get the pin on MJF. They are telling the story that MJF has never kicked out of the J Driller. So I think maybe a finish there could be Mark Briscoe hitting the J Driller on MJF and getting the pin to cement his title shot. Then we have the two Owen Hart Cup finals. First with the women, Mercedes Moné taking on the surprising finalist of Maya World. She's been, I mean, she wasn't even supposed to be in the tournament to begin with, and she's here all the way in the finals. I think they've told a good story with her. I mean, maybe they really want to push her
I mean, do
to
they
the
pull the
moon.
trigger on Maya World? I mean, she's a great young talent. She's been killing it. Her and Hyan have been doing great things in AEW as a team, and now this seems to be the solo moment.
Yeah, but it's kind of one of those things with Javon Evans of like whoever wins this match goes on at All In for the Women's World Championship, and is Maya World like
I
you
think
gotta do it eventually. But I
I,
just when
I
it's her
think
and Mercedes, it's kind of like apples and oranges. I feel like.
apples and oranges. There ain't no comparison. You versus me. Now that is hilarious. Shout out Azo. That's a great song. Look, man, I think it's one of those where Maya she comes very close, but in the end, Mercedes Monet gets the victory and then goes on to All In to challenge Tekla and eventually become the Women's World Champion of AEW.
I agree. I think Mercedes does get the win as well. Then main event, I would assume this would be the last match on the show, the men's Owen Hart Cup final. Will Ospreay taking on Swerve Strickland. They didn't do too much on Dynamite to build it up because I think they really did a lot of it last week with their back-to-back, with their face-to-face promo. I mean, it seems as though it's a coronation of Will Ospreay, so the finish could be in doubt, and hopefully they have a good enough match to where people can, myself included, because I will be there, to buy into Swerve possibly winning. But I would assume Will Ospreay gets the win, and he will have his shining moment at Wembley eventually. Now, is that against MJF? Is that against Kenny Omega? Is that against someone else? Who knows? But we are on the way to Wembley. But in between time, we do have. It's not Revolution. It's like Redemption. That is the next pay-per-view after this. But yeah, it's in San Jose. So if you guys are in the area, come on down. I will be there. Say hi. I don't bite. Only if you. But if you ask, maybe I will. But yeah, so that's Forbidden Door. Should be a decent show. Yeah, I mean it's not one of their marquee events, but it should be some good wrestling and some good stuff. And maybe who knows? Speculation that the New Day's 90-day complete is up, so maybe the New Day shows up.
Really?
Well, I don't know. I just saw something, and then maybe I don't know what the timeline is on that.
Yeah, I don't think it's been 90 days yet. I know Kofi's at some Galaxy Con or something. Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us, man. Is there any wrestling going on this weekend?
There's a lot
I
of
mean,
wrestling going on.
besides like the big ones. Yeah, no, I think that's really it. Thank you guys so much as always. Be safe and stay dangerous. We will be back with a recap of Night of Champions. Brandon will handle the Forbidden Door recap. Thank you guys so much as always. Be safe and stay dangerous. You guys are.